Hi guys, today I want to talk about how, I don't know how to word this, how I will never look at some songs, or I should say listen to some songs and feel the same way about them as I did before I started writing this book series. And of course I'm talking about the Hernandez series, George Hernandez and his gang, a bunch of criminals, successful criminals, I must add. They're not criminals who are getting caught or they don't have, the cops just behind them all the time. They're pretty good at getting away with what they do, which is unusual. I get that. That's not the cool thing in books and movies and everything. It's always the good guy winning and the bad guy losing. But in my world, my characters, the bad guys kind of win. And they're not all bad. There's no more to it than that. I'm getting off topic. So there's certain songs that have inspired my writing, inspired certain scenes in my writing, certain characters, and so now every time I hear those specific songs, I always connect them to those characters, to those specific scenes, usually very violent scenes or very important scenes in some way. And I'm just going to tell you about a couple because there's so many and I'd be here all day and who has time to listen to a long video, but I am going to tell you a few and just exactly why, just so you have an idea. If you're a reader or a writer, you can relate to this. As a writer, I think all writers have songs that inspire them when they're writing, maybe that they're listening to while they're writing, get ideas from, connect with a character, a scene. If you're a fan, you probably have songs, especially when you're watching movies or television shows, that you connect with certain characters or a certain scene. Something very, very impactful. And if that's the case, it probably connects with you too. It's not just that, oh, look, it's cool. It's not just that. There's a connection for you as well. Anyway, rambling again. So what are some of the songs? So one of the songs I have wrote down here, Master of Puppets, which is from Metallica, one of my favorite songs forever. I connect that so much with this character, the main character, the protagonist, Hernandez. It's a very strong, powerful song. But specifically my last book, The Devil May Lie, in that book, he is thinking about getting into politics. And like everything he does, there's a little touch of evil involved. He doesn't want to get into politics necessarily for the betterment of people. It's kind of, he does care about people, but he cares about his power a lot too. So there's that. But anyway, whenever I hear that song, I always picture a scene where he goes up to speak to an audience. And he gets there, he has no idea how many people is going to be waiting in the audience. He's actually shocked. He's surprised. He's surprised by the passion, the enthusiasm, how much they love him. And so whenever I hear that song, I just picture him walking on that stage. And just the power of the character, the strength, the fact that he really embodies that sort of powerful presence. He connects with people. People look up to him. I don't even know if I'm explaining it well. Probably not. But this song just reminds me of that. It just brings it home for me. That's just one of them. There's a few others. One of them, I always talk about how Pink Floyd songs remind me of Chase. And it's funny, I've talked in previous videos how not that I didn't like Pink Floyd, but I wasn't as big of a fan as I was when I started writing the series. Of course, when I started the series, We're All Animals, the first book, is specifically centered on Chase, and everybody else since has just sort of been introduced along the way. And then George Hernandez takes over because he's a powerful character. But Pink Floyd their music reminds me of Chase, because Chase was a fan, and I always picture him just sort of driving down the road, heading toward this new life, which he has no idea how many twists and turns it's going to take, how different it's going to be from his old life. But I always picture him driving down the road with Pink Floyd on the radio or on in whatever, listening to it in his car, whatever. Anyways, he's heading down the road. He's listening to this music. I always picture him. I connect him with that music, even when I'm writing various scenes, just sort of how he feels. He sees the world, how he's opening his eyes up to what's going on. So I always connect that as well as the animal I've become. I always see a scene where Chase is, just going crazy at a punching bag. He's furious. He's had a lot of people kind of screw him over and try to take over his life. And then it just becomes this complete fit of anger. And he's just going crazy on this punching bag because he doesn't know how else to express it. There's another one, Eyes Without a Face, with Billy Idol. It keeps going through my mind for something I'm writing now. I don't really get into it a lot, but I didn't at first recognize why Eyes Without a Face was appropriate for this specific scene, but then I realized what happened in the scene, and there might be eyes without a face by the time it's done. I do write violent stuff. Funny I didn't make that connection before. What else? Crazy Train, Diego. When I hear Crazy Train, I think of Diego because it's one of the books, Always Be a Wolf. That song is playing in my mind, and I just, it starts off with him racing down the road in a car, and he's like almost chases in the car. He's scared. He thinks he's going to kill them both. And that really embodies who Diego is. That whole scene tells you everything you have to know about Diego. He is crazy. He is sort of unhinged. He's very erratic, and it just captures who he is. That song, that scene, that's like I say, everything you have to know. Is right there. Just like Pink Floyd's Everything You Have to Know About Chase, and Masters of Puppets is everything you have to know about George. So what else? There's the song What a Night, and Oh What a Night, which is an older song. I don't know why I always pictured that. There's a scene where George is at the club. He's about to meet up with Maggie and Chase. And of course, if you've read my books, the earlier ones, Maggie kind of screws over Chase, and George finds out and he meets them there, and it's not a pleasant meeting for Maggie. I'll just say that. And I always picture him opening the door and sort of like that Shining. Is that the movie, The Shining, where he opens the door, or the closet, or I don't know, what is it? Bathroom door. Yeah, I think it's a bathroom door. My God, I can't even remember. He opens the door and he has that kind of crazy look in his eye. I almost picture the same with George Hernandez, and at least from her perspective, I think he has the same impact on her in that moment because she knows who he is, she knows what he's about, and she's a little fucking scared because she knows how dangerous he is. And we'll just leave it at that. You'll have to read the book if you want to know more. Peace sells, but who's buying? I always see a scene where somebody comes and demands to see Hernandez at his club, and he thinks he's going to kind of bully him, which is hilarious. And George just calmly listens to him, and then this whole crazy scene breaks out. He actually urinates on the floor and says, "This is kind of what I think of you and your club." And Chase gets angry and hits him over the back with a chair, knocks him down. George comes over, puts his foot on his head, and says, "You can lick up your piss now," which I know sounds really gross, but it's a power move. And I always envision that song, which is ironic because Peace sells, but I don't know if anyone is buying, and these guys definitely aren't. So I know that sounds kind of gross, but it gets more violent after that, and we'll just leave it there. You have to read the book. But it does become much more violent. That's just them getting going. So anyway, 9 minutes in. I never make videos this long, but it's really hard to kind of just say, oh, this song inspired this scene, and kind of not really get into it, explain, and give kind of examples and make you understand. what these characters are about. They're pretty crazy if you hadn't figured that out already. The songs alone might tell you that. I'm going to have a corresponding blog. I might add the videos just in case you're not familiar with the songs. If you hear the songs, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Maybe. Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for checking us out. Have a great day.